Hey guys, so my first video, the brain dump, I know I was looking really, really sad. I got some homework out of the way. After this one, I gotta go study. But I saw something and then it really felt like the tiny and the angry. It came back and I was a lot less sad. So there are these people, Kelly and Reginald Steele, and they're founders, they're religious. They're founders of a church in Phoenix, Arizona. Our kingdom of Father out there who be thy name. I don't know the name. Whatever. They're religious people. And they have a podcast called Dear Future Wifey. And you'll see my dismissiveness about the religiousness. I'm not a religious person, but I am not rude about people's beliefs, but you'll see why the dismissiveness. So the guy is very basic looking. Like, he's fine. The girl Kelly is very beautiful, very attractive, and they were apparently high school sweethearts. I think they got married in 93. And this guy, basically, she was pregnant. She's pregnant with all those hormones, and he gave her a hard time because she didn't share his faith, and he was fooling around, smoking weed, and just not being an active partner or husband. And he told his wife, "You're my starter, but I've got other players on the bench." What? What? And she goes on to say in this podcast that she would help him get ready to go meet his side chicks. What? What? That he would go out on the weekends and she would iron his clothes and make him look all nice. What? No. 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 Listen, I have been in bad positions with men. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just like, nothing like that, but just like very insecure, and they're like dismissive of me, and like I wasn't able to catch like emotional abuse. And I've been in that experience. And even that, sometimes, you look back at your experience and you're like, I should have cursed that man out. No hatred, all love in my heart, but sometimes you gotta put a person in their place, you know what I mean? But I have not experienced that. I have not experienced that. I think I think I would attempt to eat him. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'd really lose it. I'd really lose it, especially if I'm pregnant with a kid. What? I take out a meat cleaver and I take out some some like Old Bay seasoning, and I just start, and he'd be like, "What's going on?" And just like really calm, cool, collected, because that's when you know you've gone crazy, right? People think that crazy is when you're like, ah, and you're like freaking out. No, 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 no. That's not real crazy. That's not real crazy. There was one day where me and my friend, we were in marching band, and near the marching band was a bodega. So, we'd walk to the bodega. On our way there, we're high school students, right? We're teens. On our way there is a woman, and she has a car, and she's got a big cinder block, okay? And she's not smashing the car. No, no, no. She's not just hitting it. No, no, no. Very calm, cool, collected. She is taking the cinder block and she's like drawing squares. She's drawing triangles. She's putting smiley faces on everything. Hi, just going like that. And me and my friend, we stopped, we paused, we looked at her, she looked at us, and we kept it moving. We just looked at her, took stock of the situation, she looked at us, like, and we kept it moving. Because we knew not to get involved. We knew that woman that was cold black. That was a dangerous situation, and our best move was to keep it trucking. You know what I mean? That's when the crazy comes out. So I would very calmly, very collectively, if some dude tried that on me, I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, cool, cool. So here's the Old Bay. I'm gonna get the bouillon. No, I'm going to eat you. I'm going to dismember you and eat you. Are you kidding me? You're gonna have me get your clothes ready and have you looking all spiffy so you could go pound away at some gal? Nah, nah. And that's why the him saying like, oh, because I believe in God, and you're doing this, you're mistreating her. And apparently this dude had a whole bunch, a mediocre looking guy. This dude, because you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to be superficial. I think if someone has a good heart and a good soul, it does not matter. But when you're a piece of dog crap, when you act like that, you deserve to be humbled. You know what I mean? And I think that that's true for everyone. There are actions that we can commit or thoughts, sometimes thoughts, where it's like, oh, I look really ugly right now. I look like a hag right now because of the internal is so ugly, it is coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta let people know, like, you're not that cute. You are not that cute. You are dusty, crusty, and musty. Okay, I took that from a Scared Straight. I think his name was also Reginald. He was so funny. He talked to one of the kids. He's like, your hairline's uneven. He's like, you're not that cute. You're crusty, dusty, and musty. And I love that ever since. But sometimes you gotta let people know. So you have this mediocre looking guy, mediocre personality. It gets worse. He kept coming back to his wife. You know, he had the side hose. He had the other mares in his what barn, okay? And then this guy has the audacity to be like, yeah, but I kept coming back to my wife. They are choosing to talk about this on a podcast. Why are you doing this? And he's like, yeah, I kept coming back to her because she would feed me and she'd give me money. What? What? First of all, you're not lining up to any of the things that God has said for me, right? If you expect a woman to be chaste or chaste, you expect her to not fool around, you expect her to be demure, you expect her to dress a certain way, then you equally have to follow, well, I'm the man, I provide, I get the food, I bring the bacon home. You can't even do that. You can't even do that. And you're over here and you're getting your little Sammy Sosa Jr. just getting in over there and over there and over there and over there. What are you talking about? And it just makes you feel so bad for her. It's like, this guy doesn't love you. That's not love. You have chosen to love him. People really are. We really do just make our own misery. It's okay. It's okay. Just be alone. Just be alone. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna share, right? I don't have a lot of luck in that department. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. I had one experience. I had one psychotic experience, and I was like, maybe, maybe I'll back away. And I've had casual things and stuff like that, and I'm still open, but I've been alone for a big, romantically, I have been alone for a big chunk of my life. And my thing is, I've never experienced a loving relationship where the man accepts me as I am. Part of it too is the depression and stuff. Part of it does fall on me. Like, I'm way more confident and aware of who I am. There was a lot of skill sets I didn't have. It takes two to tango, right? A lot of skill sets that I didn't have that I had to develop. But I'm not that pressed about it. I'm gonna be honest with you, because my thing has always been, when you have a really bad experience with a guy, you know, you're like, oh, I would rather be alone than ever have to deal with something like that or something similar like that. You know, when someone like really puts you through the ringer, like, I'm a very soft person, I'm very sensitive, but like, is demeaning and dismissive and talks down to you and is willing to like kind of insult you in front of your family, like, that's stuff that I've been through. It makes you just be like, I never had the feeling like all men are like this. Um, but it makes you have this feeling of like, okay, I'm okay with being alone because I don't want to have that. I would be so lovely to meet someone who just loves me and is unconditional and just kind hearted. And of course, nothing's going to be perfect, but there's a genuine respect and love and compassion for each other, right? And so, what I've done is I just build up my skill set because I can't control anybody else, but I can build up my skill set of boundaries and building up my self esteem and learning how to communicate and learning how to lead with love first, and learning how to be compassionate because I also didn't like the person I became, right? Um, and being a single person for a really long time, you notice like people are deathly afraid to not have someone because that's what society says, and this, that, the third. And again, I think people should aspire for love, all types of love, and to have strong connections and strong relationships, as many as you can have. I think connection is such a vital aspect of the human experience. But build up your skills. Build up your skills. Don't be so desperate to have a relationship that you settle for that. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely want to put yourself out there. I've struggled with that sometimes. I'm like, oh no, I'm so shy, da 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 da. But I don't want that. I don't want that. You know, and it's unfortunate. And men also go through that too. There are men who also get abused. There are also men who have unhappy relationships, and it's just so pathetic. It's so sad, and I don't mean pathetic like for because he's a man. Like the same for a woman. Like it's pathetic is the wrong word. It comes off as mean. Like it it's pathetic in the sense like it never has to get there. You know what I mean? Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Um, there there really is no like I've been in it in situations like that too, and then you start like just being really nasty and everything, and then you have some time, some distance, and you're like, it never had to get that bad. All I had to be like, hey, this doesn't work, we gotta separate. Now it's a lot harder when you have bank accounts and property and children. That's completely different. Now we're getting into now it gets harder, but you know, especially when you have a relationship when there is literally nothing tying you down to this person, it is so silly to put yourself through the ringer. So like with this couple, she was married, you know, it was her high school sweetheart, stuff like that. Um, so it's a little different, but you know, I know that there are other situations where it's like you can just go, you can leave, you know. And I know why that exists because we humans will replicate the relationships or the issues we have in childhood, because in the same article she says that she didn't want to break up her family, she didn't want to leave him and take the kids, um, she didn't want to repeat what her mother did. So there was issues there, you know, and that's sad because it's you can just see like, okay, this is that childhood stuff coming up, right? Because you didn't break up the family. The moment that he took his little willy nilly and put it in a different pond, it was done. It was on him. He broke up the marriage. He screwed things up. What? Stop! You're doing it. You're not his mother. No, he's a grown man. Like, you know what I mean? It's not on you, and that's why I think a big thing. And to be honest, I'm not surprised that the divorce rate is as high as it is. I'm not surprised because, you know, especially young love is very intoxicating. But there's a part where your brain is still developing. You know what I mean? Like they also say too. Well, I don't know if but I saw somebody put this and I thought it was good advice. She said, it really is crazy to get engaged before when you haven't even been dating for 3 years. Now, do some people make it work? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will say that there's probably like, you know, a personality or both personalities, they've really had to mature and just grow. Like I've also known people like that and they make it work, and that's amazing. But that's not the norm. The norm is that people don't know how to handle, you know, the mundane of life. They don't know how to handle the issues that we all carry with each other, our specific crosses that we bear. They don't know how to handle finances. They don't have conversations about. That's wild to me now, right? Now that I'm older, like any relationship, we're gonna, okay, how are we gonna handle finances? What are we gonna do about kids? What are we gonna do about in-laws and family, right? I'm very close to my family. Um, so that would be something I want to maintain. Uh, you gotta handle like personality things and like leading with love. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, and like people are not having conversations. It's like what is happening, and like you know, I was there too, where again I was just very young and naive, and it was my first experience. But you gotta have conversations because it's like you see so many people that are like, I'll see it on Yahoo, and it's like, my husband expects me to take care of my mother-in-law. It's like, why didn't you have that conversation in the beginning? Handle that from the get. We are so afraid to talk to each other. We are so afraid to have hard conversations, and I'm very lucky that I'm in the field that I'm in, and I have the background that I am, because I once you start doing stuff, you just become desensitized. Like sometimes I have to catch myself. I am very desensitized when it comes to talking about mental health, a lot of trauma. Um, when people want to self harm, when they want to end their lives, I have no qualms about being like, what's going on? Because, I'm an adult. I'm not going to make something the boogeyman. Let's bring that crap to the surface. Let's shine a light on it. Let's handle it and let's deal with it. A big part of why I struggled with a mental illness is because I couldn't say the quiet part out loud. I couldn't say, you know, my family, I couldn't hold like two conflicting things, right? Or contradictory things. I couldn't hold like, I love my family loves me, but there's issues in our family dynamic. There is generational trauma. There is lack of skills. I couldn't handle that. I wasn't able to be like, I'm repeating the fractured relationships from my family. I'm repeating it in certain friendships, and I'm repeating it in a romantic relationship. I couldn't articulate that. I couldn't articulate when the person I was dating would make me sob. Make Here's the thing. If the person you're dating is able to just callously stand there while you're sobbing, begging them to tell you that they love them, it's not the relationship for you. It's not the relationship for you. You know what I mean? It is a disrespect. It's a lack of care. It's a lack of love and compassion. A romantic relationship should be a place where I can just lay my little head and I can just go like this and I can just relax. You're gonna have hard times. It's ridiculous to pretend like you're not. But stuff like that, there's certain things that passes a line. You gotta nip that crap in the bud. You're like, this is only gonna get worse. No. So like, they just dated and he's fooling around. He's doing this, that, the third. He's taking money from her, food from her. You are so cavalier in talking about this in a podcast. You know what I'm saying? If you really got through it, and if you don't fool around anymore and stuff like that, you don't have to let other people know. Because yeah, I'm I feel really sad for your wife. I feel like you're really pathetic. I don't even know you, and I'm grossed out by you because I can already tell that you're probably that couple that's the very religious and very like, they don't have a marriage like ours. Thank God. Thank God. Because it sounds crappy. It's okay. Just be alone. Just be alone for a little bit. It's fine. Raise your kids. Figure it out. Have, as your kids get older, have a guy that you don't bring to the house, but you go and you meet him and you have a nice night and the kids are with grandma. Figure it out. It's fine. You know? Chaos reigns supreme in life, and sometimes things, I think her too, like she had a hard time as a kid, and she probably really wanted that cookie cutter of like, I really just want a family and stuff like that. And it's like, that sucks for her kids to know that, dad was fooling around and he was just using mom for food and money. Like, Like, even if you are comfortable with that, don't do that for your kids' sake. Like, don't talk about that. Take that to your grave, you know? Like, man, I don't know, that made me angry. Like, sometimes people really show their ass, you know? And likewise, I saw an article. It was about Lily Allen and David Arbor. So when Lily and David, they did like the architectural digest, they had people come to their house, and there's a YouTuber, I'm pretty sure her name is Caroline, because I haven't seen her many years. Like, I go through phases. Even though I really liked her contact, she would talk about like design and stuff like that, and like picking her life up. She was a cool girl. She was a cool woman, and she did a video on like their house, and she went a little after them because Lily's design I thought was really cute. It's what I would have gone with. Like, I like pastels and pretty, and she's got two young daughters. And then David, the actor from Stranger Things, like, he's doing uber masculine, but it's like not meshing well. Like, and I'm pretty sure they had like a black bathroom, and there was like carpet in the bathroom, and I was like, who is putting carpet in a bathroom? What? Why are we gonna pretend like we don't know what happens in that bathroom the nights that go down there? No, you don't need a carpet in a bathroom. That's gross. It's gross. So, and Caroline, I'm pretty sure her name is Caroline. I'm gonna feel stupid if it wasn't. But she said, um, he's a male actor, and like she had done some acting. She's like, male actors just have this thing. She's like, if you understand, you understand. And to be honest, I really didn't understand. I was a little like miffed because like at this point David had talked about his mental health struggles, and I really appreciated that as someone who had gone through it. But I completely understand what she meant, and I am so sorry. I completely understand what you mean, because there's like they were interviewing him, and him and Lily Allen, it pretty much seems as though they've split. I don't think they've ever actually said anything or whatever. They're being coy about it. The thing is that they put their marriage out there. So, yeah, of course people are going to be interested because you've put your marriage out there. It is what it is. You've given people a small peek. So if it ends, especially it seems like he cheated. I don't know if he did or didn't, whatever. They both seem like they have issues. But they're asking him about, he did like an interview with GQ, because I think the final season of Stranger Things is coming out. Everybody's gonna be like 35 years old. We'll figure it out. It's been like 7 years. I don't know, but he's doing publicity and stuff like that. And then they ask him about Lily Allen, and he's like, "Oh boy," that's his response. That's his response to his marriage ending. There were children involved. They were, he was the stepdad, but they created a bond with you. Like, their father and their mom break up, and then now they bring you, and you've gotten married, and now you're breaking up. Like, if he did cheat, oof, that is awful. It's like, there were children involved. Why would you do that? Those children are gonna grow up one day, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I saw this and I saw that. Come on, have some sense. Have some sense about you. Um, don't rush into a marriage then. Stop. Um, he, if that's the case, I guess just date. Like, what are you doing? But, so he says, oh boy, to that. And then he said something. He's like, I don't want to comment because it's going to be a salacious shit show of humiliation. Like, okay. And then he talks about, like, and then it's going to be like, do people love me? Do people hate me? Like, it's going to be all this, it's all this stuff with ego. And, I'm a human. Sir, you're in your 50s. Because he's like, whatever, I'm a human, I'm figuring it out. Now listen, yes, we never finish figuring it out. We are always changing, we're always adapting, we're always growing. That's how it should be. But it's like, you made your marriage public, there were children involved. She's been kind of coy. It seems like you have cheating. And just his response of, oh boy, instead of just like, there's a long dramatic pause, instead of being like, hey, listen, there are children involved. At one point he says, you know, I'm very protective of the people of my life and its reality. What? Shut up. Like, you know, because then he says, like, it's just gonna be hyperbole, like all the tabloid fodder. It seems like he did cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, if he really did cheat and he's doing all this like wishy-washy, like, you know, tabloid fodder, and it's like the smoke screen and everything, like, you're even more of an ass. You're even more of an ass. All you have to say is, you know, uh, I don't want to talk about this. There's children involved. It's a hard time, and I'll leave it at that. That's it. That's it. I did it for you. I didn't have to go on and on and on and on and on. Because I hate when people do that. Like, I don't want to talk about this, but I'm going to use vague speak. So you don't want to talk about something? Or you get a stern face. You're like, I don't really want to talk about that. Uh, Things are still too raw. Let's move on. Or before you do the interview, hey, just so you know, this is off top. This is off limits. You can put that in the article. You can say, we talked privately beforehand. I said this is off limits because there are children involved. That's it. You know, even if you don't want to say that, there's people involved. I don't want to hurt anybody. Whatever. You can do a simple toot toot. Very simple. Very, hey, no comment. Not that one. Something else. You know what I'm saying? Ask me about Millie Bobby Brown. I don't care. Ask me about a Demogorgon. Don't ask me about that. I hate that fake, I'm trying to wishy-washy, da-da-da-da. You could just, there's a very simple way to say, no, I don't want to talk about this. So, I don't know, I saw the male actor just reach out in him, and it's just like, shut up. And he's like talking about, you know, I'm relying on Buddhism, and, you know, like, Stranger Things is gonna end. It's a lot of change. Stranger Things hasn't been on air for 35 years. What are we talking about? Like, yeah, okay, fine, a lot of changes. Shut up. Shut up. Like, I don't know. And I'm not saying that Lily Allen is that much better, because then I looked in the comment section and there was like some stuff that was coming up about her that I didn't know. Like, it said that she got rid of her dog during the pandemic because he was an inconvenience. Like, just some stuff where it's just like, maybe you're both a little insufferable. But I feel bad for Lily because she has said, you know, I'm spiraling. It's not a good time. Because I can imagine, like, it's like, another male, you know, I'm remembering the speech from The Devil Wears Prada from Meryl Streep, when she's like, another divorce, the dragon lady. She's like, they can say whatever they want about me, but my girls, and she tears up, and she's like, it's another like failed male role model. I'm like, damn, that sucks. You know, her Lily Allen's daughters, they're like 13 and 11. Like, that sucks. Like, they had him in their life for like 5 years, and then what, now he's just not in their life. It's just weird. It's sad. So it's just like, I didn't like his response. I didn't like it at all. It just goes to show you, like, some of these raggedy assholes ain't worth a damn. But that, I wanted to talk about that. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions on these raggedy assholes, and a raggedy asshole can be a man or a woman, you know. Anybody can be fractured and broken and cause damage to somebody else. But for these two stories, it really seems like the men were just really, really showing their ass. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts about this, or what do you think, let me know. I'm gonna have to go study now, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm almost done. Almost there.